And a good morning. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show. There's been a lot of discussion, some controversy, about a system being used by law enforcement around the country called flock cameras. We're going to talk about it this morning because it is in our area, and we have a couple of very special guests to do that from the Saginaw Township Police Department. We say good morning to its chief, Chief Scott Malice.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
Good, Scott. And with him, Lieutenant Andy Myers. Morning.
Morning, Art.
Good to see you, Andy.
You too.
I should probably up front just disclose that Scott and I co-chair the Crime Prevention Council together. As he can tell you, I am super pro law enforcement, so I have a position.
Yes, sir.
Here.
Appreciate your support.
So I think we need to start with an overview of this flock camera. It's been very much in the news. Saginaw Township just approved the system. What is it? Let's start with just a big picture of what a flock camera is and what it does.
Sure. Thank you for having me. Long-time listener, first-time guest, so thank you.
Stroke me. Go ahead.
So a flock safety system is an automatic license plate reader system. It's a stationary camera set up at intersections. It takes a snapshot of a vehicle as it passes by and captures the license plate that's on the back of the vehicle or any identifying marks on the vehicle. And then that is put into a database that is for our agency. And then in the event of a crime, we can go ahead and search for a particular license plate and see if we can locate that license plate to be an investigative tool used in the solving of the crime.
Does it flag license plates? And by that I mean, if you had a crime committed and you have a license plate from that crime and you enter it into a data bank, will the flock system search that data bank for that plate?
Yes, sir. In fact, we just had an incident involving that this past weekend where a homicide suspect out of the city of Saginaw, the plate went through one of the LPRs of the flock cameras, alerted our officers that the vehicle was in the area, and they were able to search the area, find the vehicle at Myers on Tivadawasi, and take the subject into custody without incident. So there are hot lists, yes.
Do your patrol cars have LPRs in them, license plate readers?
No, we do not.
Some do, not your department.
Not
but
our
some
department.
departments use them, don't they?
That's
State
correct.
police have them? I think they,
I'm not sure if they do
I'm
or
not
not.
aware if they do or not.
yeah. But it's become a national trend for these flock cameras, isn't it?
There's about 5,000 agencies throughout the United States and right around 200 in the state of Michigan right now that currently have flock safety.
And is it an expensive system?
It's not cheap. Technology is not cheap. It's about $137,000 the first year to put in all the cameras. That includes the software, the hardware, any updates. It's a subscription-based product, so it's not a capital expense. And then it's $108,000 for our particular system with the amount of cameras that we're putting in moving forward year to year.
All right, so I want to talk just for a minute about some of the things that have been said about flock cameras that probably have no basis of truth. One, it'll send you a ticket if you're speeding.
Yeah, that's absolutely false, Art. The cameras, they can't do that. They don't do that. All they do is take a snapshot of, like Chief said, of the vehicle, the characteristics of the vehicle and the license plate as it goes by, and it stores that information in their database. We can then enter license plates to search for into that database, and then if those plates or the vehicle characteristics have gone by one of the cameras, it will give us an alert that it's been passed there.
It stores it in its database, but not forever.
Not forever. It's actually a 30-day hard cap
30-day
on the
hard
storage,
cap.
and then it automatically purges all that data out of there.
So on the 31st day, if all of a sudden that license plate was in the system and somebody committed a crime with it and you had a license plate, you could not go back and pull up.
It's unretrievable.
It's unretrievable.
Yes, sir.
It's gone.
Yes.
Correct.
Next thing we hear, well, it's gonna take pictures of who's driving and everything else. They're really focused on the plate, aren't they?
Yes, sir. And it doesn't have any type of facial recognition capabilities. It simply takes a picture of the back of the vehicle.
Doesn't see who's driving.
No, sir.
It doesn't, and that's one of the reasons why in our policy we have a procedure that when we get an alert on one of these vehicles or plates and they actually find it, one of the first things they do if they're looking for a specific suspect is try to verify who's in the vehicle, because we understand that not everybody drives the same vehicle all the time, right? So that might be a different person in the vehicle. It might not be the suspect we're looking for. So they're going to try and verify that that's who they're looking for in the vehicle before they do go ahead and make a stop on it.
How many cameras for you?
So we're looking at 34 camera systems.
34.
Yes, sir.
The city has
I think they have well over 40 possibly.
another batch coming or
another
something?
batch
Yeah.
coming, it sounds like, through a grant.
So these cameras, how do you pick locations? Because 34 is not enough to cover Saginaw Township.
Correct. So we looked at 15 intersections within Saginaw Township, entryways and exits out of the Saginaw Township, along with some of our main thoroughfares, State Street, Gratiot, Center Road. That way we could utilize that tool most effectively. If a crime occurs, most likely somebody would pass through one of those intersections and we'd be able to utilize it.
But correct me if I'm wrong, to do an intersection, you need at least 4 cameras, right?
Correct.
Correct. And to give you some context, like Chief said, there's 15 intersections. In Saginaw Township, we have well over 1,000 intersections. So if you look at it by the math, there's approximately less than 1.5% of the intersections in Saginaw Township that are actually going to be covered by the flock camera system.
But they're all the big ones.
All the big ones, all the major
Heavily
ones.
trafficked.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the majority of the major intersections that go in and out of Saginaw Township, northeast, south, and west side.
Yeah, because if you're going to get to the other 996 intersections, you got to go through one of the big ones to get there.
Correct. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't track everybody's turn-by-turn locations. So we can't track their locations from one parking lot to the next, to the next, to the next. We don't know where people are going. We just know that they were at that intersection at that point in time.
And how long before the system's fully installed?
That's a good question. So right
One
now,
you've been asking, I see.
right now we've been working with all the permitting, and there is a process with MDOT, since a lot of our cameras are on MDOT roadways.
I was
It's
going to
going
bring
to take
that
a little
up
bit of time.
because my understanding was that MDOT was denying in a lot of areas because they own the poles, so to speak.
These would be standalone, so we wouldn't have them on their actual structures.
So why do you need their permission?
It's their roadway, so they
In
can.
your township,
That's correct.
but you're not putting them on the roadway. You're
It's
only
still
looking
part
at
of
the
their
roadway.
right of way.
In the right of way.
It's in their right of way.
Move them back then. But that's true. I mean, you know, when you just can't stick something anywhere you want on
Right,
private
correct.
property or public property
Correct.
or anything else. So you don't know how long before they'll be installed.
No, sir.
All right, take a break, come back, talk about policing and all that good stuff, and flock cameras when we return.
Ready to update your home and
And we're back with you in studio with me, the chief of the Saginaw Township Police Department. He is Scott Malice, and Lieutenant Andy Myers with us this morning, talking about flock cameras, but other things too. I want to talk a little bit about policing. Police agencies, this probably goes back since the Floyd incident. It's been difficult recruiting. How are the agencies around here doing? And how is your agency doing?
We are still one officer down right now, so we're still actively recruiting.
That's from normal for retirements and
Correct.
injuries and what have you.
That's correct. And so we're still seeking applicants, and we're taking applications all the time and running them through the process and trying to find that officer that'll fit into our agency and support the community.
So, Scott, give us the process. I mean, somebody, a young man or woman coming out of high school or college, maybe has an interest in law enforcement.
Sure.
So they come to you.
Yes.
What happens from the time they first sit down with you until
Sure.
they're in a patrol car a year or two later? What's the process?
So we make it convenient. They can apply online and submit a application along with a resume and a cover letter. At that point, it gets turned over to Lieutenant Myers, who's our recruiting and retention officer, and he would then bring them in for an interview. They would go first they would take a written exam, and then after that, if they passed the written exam, they would go in for an interview. If they passed the interview, they would be scheduled with a FTO or field training officer to do a ride along, a 12-hour ride along, so that they can see what law enforcement's like, and we can get to know them a little bit in that patrol car for those 12 hours. And then after that, if they pass that, they would go on to the background investigation, and then we would do a comprehensive background investigation on them. If they make it through that process, they would give a conditional offer of employment. And then if they are already certified as a police officer, then they would be brought on to be sworn in, brought on, and hit the streets in the field training program. If they weren't a sworn officer, then we would then send them to the police academy to become certifiable, and then they would start their career at that point.
I have to laugh. I was talking to a state trooper the other day, and we were talking about recruiting, and he was talking about the academy and how difficult it is. But he said that's nothing compared to what happens when they go out with the FTO. That's the difficult part.
Yeah, you learn your basics at the police academy, and then you learn how to police out on the streets.
With the FTO.
The FTO, field training officer, you go with seasoned officers.
So correct me if I'm wrong. FTO would be a cushy job because you're not writing the reports. You're going to write the reports. You're going to go do this. You're going to go do that.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Well, it is. I'll grant you that.
And it's your job to teach this young person on how to be a police officer and how to serve the community correctly. And it's not an easy job. It's a lot of work, a lot of paperwork.
Were you an FTO, Andy?
Yes, I was before I was promoted to sergeant and then lieutenant. But so what I was going to say is, being an FTO, there's actually more work and more responsibility than being the person who's being trained. Yeah, they have to write the reports, but the FTO then goes and proofreads the report, has to give it back to them for corrections, has to proofread it again, make sure that all the other documentation is turned in, and then they're doing their own reports. So we actually have a software that we use for our FTOs that they have to fill out daily observation reports, and so they're taking all the information down from what they've done all day, all their observations of the trainee, any mistakes that were made, any great things that the trainee did, but everything gets put down in that daily observation report.
It's a rolling classroom.
It really is, and there's so much more work. It is for agencies. We always say that that's probably one of the most important jobs at any agency is the FTO, because you're establishing a culture for your agency with those new officers. You're teaching them everything that they need to know to become successful and to carry on the agency's values.
So, Prospective A comes to you. They go through all of the steps, pass all of the steps. They go to the academy. Then they go through the FTO. From the time they sit down with you and express an interest till the time you hand them the keys to a patrol car and say you're on your own, how long?
It could be up to a year.
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah. Because,
how long is the academy?
So the academy is about 17 weeks, and then they're on FTO for another 3-month phases, and then another 2 to 4 weeks of shadow phase after that. So along with the test, the interview, the background investigation, which can take a couple weeks, it can be up to a year for sure, easily.
So is it reasonable to think that if, let's say, I got stopped for a traffic stop and there were 2 officers in the car, because you normally run 1 officer cars, is it reasonable to expect that it's an FTO?
Very possible, yes.
Because you don't run doubles anymore, do you?
No, sir.
Not normally.
Not normally.
Is policing what it used to be? From when you got in, Scott, how's it changed?
Well, I think technology obviously has made a huge difference in our work. We used to write all the calls on a steno pad, and now you have computers that tell you where to travel, with GPS, where the first stop on your first night as a new officer was to the 7-Eleven to buy a map book at Saginaw Township and start learning the map book. But so I think technology has had a big impact on our profession.
The inside of the patrol cars changed a lot, hasn't it?
Yes. Yes, with in-car cameras, body cameras, CAD systems, or mobile devices, or mobile computers, yeah. It's made a big difference.
And those in-car cameras not only protect you, but protect the person you have in the car.
Certainly, yeah. They're a great asset to have.
A lot of times the in-car cameras and the body cameras actually have been huge in helping our officers when there are some allegations of misconduct or things like that. We're able to go back and review, and we're able to see that, you know, that didn't happen the way that the complainant said it did, or every once in a great while it did happen. And then, you know, I'm also the investigation lieutenant, not the investigation, sorry, the internal investigation lieutenant. So when something like that happens and it's
You're everybody's
confirmed,
favorite person.
well, luckily it doesn't happen very much.
Yeah.
Art, and so we don't have that many problems. Knock on wood, right here. But also, and I hate to say it this way, but when somebody messes up, they usually know that they messed up, and the discipline that comes down from the chief is usually pretty well received because they understand, you know, and there's policies and procedures that we have to follow, and when something happens and, you know, there's a rule that's broken, that's just sort of corrective action.
But every department has an IED.
Every department
Yes.
has one, and there's those policies and procedures at every department.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I first joined the sheriff's department and I was given a flash drive. It had the policies and procedures manual on it. 568 pages later, I was going,
Yeah, exactly.
A lot to absorb.
It was a lot to absorb, absolutely. Take a quick break and come back with our guests after these notes.
Warmer weather is here.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking about policing and flock cameras. They're coming to Saginaw Township in the near future. And with us is the chief of the Saginaw Township Police Department, Chief Scott Malice, and Lieutenant Andy Myers, also with us from the department, as we talk about flock cameras, policing. Flock camera is just, it's one type of system. There are other camera systems out there, aren't there?
Yes, sir.
Do you use any of them?
No, sir. Not at this time. We don't.
Do you want to use any of them?
The reason that we looked at flock safety is because it would complement those agencies that are already surrounding us.
Which is, the city has it, Saginaw Valley State University has
The
them.
Kochville DDA has it,
Kochville.
Bridgeport, Buena Vista, and
So you got them, they're all over the
as
place.
you could say, police.
Yeah.
So that would be part of that network, as opposed to having a standalone product. That would help with investigations. We could share data if we're looking for somebody, share hot lists if we need to, looking for somebody.
But the other camera systems, you don't have any of them.
No, sir.
How about it in the cars? Do you have external cameras in the cars?
We have dash cams.
You have dash cams.
Yes.
And then now everybody's wearing body cams.
Yes, sir.
How has that changed policing?
I think it's been a positive change. You know, we're able to, like Lieutenant Myers said, capture things as they happen, and obviously use that for prosecution and building strong cases, or using it for following up on cases. So I think it's been a really good tool for our profession.
Yeah, and the other thing that we can use that for is training, and we do use it for training quite a bit.
Good point.
If we see something that an officer did that was good, you know, we can bring that and play that for the other officers and say, hey, this is a great example of how to do this. If we see something that could use a little work and be made a little more safe, then we can, again, we use that and show the officer, hey, you did this time, this could have happened, so make sure that when we're, you know, approaching a vehicle, we do it like this, and we can kind of show them the correct way to do things.
I don't know that the public understands this, but as a police officer, training never stops, does it?
No, sir.
No, it can't stop because a couple reasons. Things are always changing. and the criminals are always finding new ways to commit crimes, and technology is always changing, and we're always figuring out how to do things safer and make things safer for us and the public. And so we always have to be on top of the new developments, new techniques, new strategies. Case law is always coming out, so we have to make sure that we're on top of that. We can't stop training, because if we did, then we'd be left in the dust. We wouldn't be as safe as we could be. We wouldn't be keeping the public as safe as we could.
Speaking of the public, because most of the time when the public interacts with police, it's not always favorable. Traffic stops, could be a victim of a crime, what have you. But a lot of people get their perception of police from TV shows. How accurate?
Well, the TV shows are made to entertain you, so there's not a whole lot of accuracy in TV policing. You're not going to get into a shooting and then go right back on the road the next day, or even the next hour or the next minute, right? So a lot of that is just made to be entertaining. So if you were to watch an everyday average police officer, you probably wouldn't want to tune in for very long.
You'd be bored, probably.
Yeah, the everyday average stuff that we do isn't that exciting. Now, there are bouts of excitement, moments of excitement throughout the day, throughout the weeks, but they don't happen often. They're not like every minute like they are on the TV shows.
My dad, who was a federal agent, used to say it was 95% routine, 5% sheer terror.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure can be. Yeah.
And that's another reason why we need to make sure that we train all the time, because that routine can lull you into a false sense of security, and then all of a sudden something bad happens and you're not ready for it. So we got to make sure that everybody is on top of their game, ready for the next thing that could happen at all times.
So if I put you in front of a group of youngsters and I said, Andy, tell them why they should become police officers.
Well, policing is a very rewarding career. I've been in it for 22 years now, and it's been one of the most amazing things that I've been able to do. You get a chance to help people. Yeah, you see people on some of their worst days and some of their worst moments, but you get a chance to help them through that. I've saved people's lives. Literally, done CPR and had them come back to life while I'm doing CPR. It's an amazing feeling. You get to, and then as you become a more experienced police officer, you get to train younger police officers and teach them the right way to do the job, and how to stay safe and how to help people and promote a good culture, so that they can go out and help the public. And it's just an amazing feeling.
Policing, from a public image standpoint, went through a very difficult time.
It
From
did.
the George Floyd incident on. Yet it's just a few that make it bad for the rest. Have we turned that corner now? Are we more positive about policing than we were
Yeah, I think
as a society?
As a society, I think so. There was, like you said, it was a little rough for a little while. But I think that especially this area, Saginaw County, has, even during that time period, has always been pro-police. Though we received a lot of support during that time from citizens who were just coming in and saying, you know what, thank you for what you do, and stopping us on the road and saying, thank you for what you do. We really support you guys. We really appreciate what you do. There was a couple of demonstrations during that time period at the mall and Saginaw Valley, and I remember after a specific one, the demonstration was over and people were leaving and driving down Bay Road, and it was the group from that demonstration that were driving. I turned the corner onto Bay Road, and they had their signs out, from the demonstration out the windows of the car, and they were honking, but they were saying, thank you for what you do. That's literally what they were saying as I was going by, and I'm like, thank you guys. It was a really cool feeling, like I said, but the support has always been, in this area has always been really high, even during that time.
Same thing from the administrative standpoint.
Yeah, we have an amazing partnership with our community, as you well know. You know, we focus on our schools and our neighborhoods and our businesses and our rental communities. And it's important for us to have that relationship and for them to know us and us to know them before anything ever occurs, so that we can manage and we can work through any potential problems that may arise. And we're going to continue doing that because we know that we cannot do this job without our community. We know that. And that was something that was ingrained back when Chief Ott was here, followed by Chief Renico, Chief Vassell, and I'll continue carrying that same flag, that we have to have the support of the community, and we'll do everything in our power to continue working with them.
Quick break, and we'll be back to finish up with our guests.
Jeff Gronsky here with Auto Bright.
Hi, we're back with you here on WSCW. In studio with me from the Saginaw Township Police Department, Lieutenant Andy Myers and Police Chief Scott Malice. Scott, I have to ask you, you've been a cop for quite a while. You've moved into the administrative side of things as chief. Do you miss the road?
Yes, I do.
Look at that smile. You see that smile, Andy?
That's
I
a
do.
simple answer.
Would
yeah.
you have to take him out and FTO him again if you put him on the road?
There might be a few
I might
things.
need help logging into a few different things. Speaking of technology.
But you do miss it, don't you?
Yeah,
It's-
that was the drive that got me into the profession, was going out there. And with our profession, it's pretty unique. I mean, not that all professions can't do this, but ours, you can actually make a positive difference every day.
Yeah.
And you can't always do that in some areas of work. And so that started early with me, and I've always enjoyed it. I miss it, and once in a while I go out, and it's not too often.
You do a ride along?
I did one a few months ago, and I kind of missed it. I jumped in the car with one of my sergeants on days, and it was fun. It was fun to go back up on a traffic stop and experience that again. So I should really get back out there more often, and I'm probably going to be held to it now. So
I'll keep them honest.
Yeah. I also, and I mentioned this early on, that Scott and I co-chair the Crime Prevention Council. It's one of the rare ones in the country, too,
yes.
where law enforcement and others get together and talk about ways to prevent crime.
And improve our communities, right, and have open dialogue. I think that's a really important group that gathers, and we have some good discussions, hard discussions at times, and
Internal, too. They don't get out.
Right.
That's the
Internal.
advantage, is you can say what you want
right,
and then not have fear of repercussion.
right, and to work through things and to work together. That's how things are going to get accomplished. So it's a really great committee to be on.
That's an interesting comment, work together, because the rap was, before 9/11, police agencies always didn't communicate very well.
Right.
Federal didn't talk to local. There was a disconnect. 9/11 changed a lot of that, didn't it?
Yeah, we're very blessed here in Saginaw County, as you well know. There is amazing cooperation between state, local, and federal agencies. We have several of our officers that work as task force officers, one with the FBI, one with the ATF. We have an officer assigned to Bayonet, which is a narcotics unit. And then we also have an officer assigned with the state police in the computer crimes unit. So the cooperative effort to solve problems and make law enforcement a priority, we're very, very unique here in Saginaw County.
Is that, Scott, in some ways good news, bad news? Because the good news is you have those officers and you have those task force doing what they do. The bad news is those four aren't on the road.
Well, they're assigned to the Detective Bureau anyways, and we could always pull them back, and they follow up on everything that the road is doing. So very important of what they're doing. Plus, we then are given resources that we normally wouldn't have at either a state or federal level. So it's actually a win-win.
Department equipment, plenty of it. You're in good shape.
Yeah,
equipment-wise?
we're doing really well. We actually just recently we purchased all brand new tasers, Taser 10s, and we have new handguns that are on the way, and those have flashlights and sights on them, red dot sights on them. We purchased recently new rifles for the department, patrol rifles. Our patrol cars are doing really well, and we've got new radars, and most of them they're on their way. And so, as far as equipment goes, I think our department's doing really well right now.
And you went to Hybrid Explorers.
Yes, sir.
In the beginning, a little touchy, but how they worked out.
They've worked out really well for us, especially with cost of fuel.
Yeah, it was a good time to do that, wasn't it?
Right. Our vehicles have to run the whole shift because of all the equipment inside of them, the dash cameras and the computers that are inside of them, the radios. So they have to run constantly, and when you're with a combustible engine constantly running, you're burning up fuel, where these will shut down, and then they'll pop back on once the battery begins to get low and recharge the battery. So it saves us a lot of money on fuel consumption.
And reliability.
Yeah, they've been really reliable,
Yeah.
actually. They've been doing really well.
The officers like them?
I think they like the height of them, as opposed to getting in out of a
Tahoe
sedan.
or,
So
or a sedan.
Yeah.
Everybody's gotten away from sedans.
Yeah, they seem to be going away from I think that as far as comfort, for the officers, getting in and out of something that's so low is usually an issue.
And
We're wearing a lot of equipment. There's a lot of equipment in
Yeah.
there already, so there's not a lot of room in those cars.
yeah, with all the electronic equipment in there for the cameras and so forth, and shields and beanbag shotguns. It's a lot of equipment.
All right, guys. Well, we started this with the flock cameras, but you don't have them installed yet. Probably another 6 to 9 months, you guess.
That's a
Best
good.
guess.
That's a good guess. Yes.
All right. Well, we'll have to see how well they work when you get them installed. They've worked for everybody else. There haven't been too many complaints, have there?
No, in fact, there's been a lot of really good success stories with the cameras. I think Chief spoke about the homicide suspect that was caught earlier this week using the surrounding flock cameras around our township. But there's so many success stories with these things, catching criminals, but also saving lives as far as abducted children and missing persons
Yeah.
and elderly that drive off in vehicles and that type of thing.
And they just had that case in Aranac County. A gentleman was missing, and they found him down in, I think, the Flint area
Yeah.
through the use of flock cameras.
Yeah.
So, good.
Scott, Andy, thanks for spending the time this morning.
Thank you for having us, sir.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take a quick break. Tell you what's ahead.
Planning your next getaway.
Party on McCarty tonight has been canceled because of potential weather. Again, the party on McCarty tonight has been canceled. Stick around, Focus coming up.
Broadcasting from the